The aftershocks of last night's political earthquake in New York City are still reverberating throughout New York and well beyond. 33-year-old state assemblyman Zohran Mamdani effectively won the Democratic mayoral nomination. Mamdani is a self-described Democratic socialist, and he won more than 43% of the vote in the first round of ranked choice voting. He beat out the one-time political powerhouse, Andrew Cuomo, who quickly conceded. Mamdani capitulated.
Now that's crazy too, because with Lander and Mamdani together, I mean, that's a huge blowout. And ranked choice is pretty good for this. So if you have like 3 candidates, 2 are progressives and 1 is a moderate, then the progressives don't split the vote between them to let the moderate win. So you can have like 5 candidates or 6 candidates that run and be legitimate. That gets people out to vote more, because if you can all vote for your favorite candidate without sacrificing votes. So for example, in this election, if we had ranked choice voting with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, someone could have voted for Donald Trump, or actually they could have voted for Jill Stein 1, Kamala Harris 2, and Donald Trump 3, and that person's vote still would have gone to Kamala Harris. You know, so you can vote your conscience, and still you can vote your conscience, and you can still, you know, your vote can still be effective as well.
Mamdani catapulted to the top of the pack, mainly on a message of affordability and change.
If this campaign has demonstrated anything to the world, it is that our dreams can become reality. Dreaming demands hope. And when I think of hope, I think of the unprecedented coalition of New Yorkers that we have built.
My panel is back. David?
Yeah, I mean, it is a political earthquake, as you described it. There's no doubt about that. And I think in a bunch of different directions.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene put this picture up, okay? Republican Congress woman. She is a KKK member. She put this up after Zohran won. So after Zohran won, she put up this picture of the Statue of Liberty being fully covered. Because they're all saying he's a radical jihadist Muslim. By the way, he's very progressive. Just like, for example, all Christians are not the KKK. All Muslims are not radical jihadists who want to enact terrorism everywhere. Obviously. But look at Zohran's girlfriend, dude. Like, look at Zohran, like his wife. Like the pictures of them, you could just tell that it's gonna be so hard for them to pin this on him. Because you just look at how his wife like dresses and everything, and it just like it's not gonna compute when they say he's some kind of radical like terrorist Islam, whatever, blah blah blah. Like, these are very progressive people. To be honest, Marjorie Taylor Greene and the MAGA KKK wing with Charlie Kirk, and I'm calling them that from now on. I'm calling them the MAGA KKK wing because Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh and all them are saying explicitly KKK ideology. They are against all legal immigration now. But they agree more with jihadists. Their social positions on women, for example, Charlie Kirk agrees much more with a radical Islamic terrorist or just a fundamentalist from Saudi Arabia or Qatar or wherever. Charlie Kirk agrees with them on social issues much more than he agrees with Zohran. All right, and he would actually say Zohran is like way too liberal, too progressive, too libertarian for Charlie Kirk and for Marjorie Taylor Greene. So really cool there.
Aftershocks will be felt. Clearly, there is an active conversation going on inside the Democratic Party right now. A party that has already been soul-searching since the 2024 loss to Donald Trump last fall. And now that soul-searching is going to get turbocharged because what they've just seen here is a potential roadmap to success in New York in a primary context. But they're trying to figure out now, well, how do we apply this to more purple areas that they need to win in order to be a successful national party again? And there's no easy answer to that because there's a debate here. Is it Mamdani's progressive policies? Lots of centrists say, no, that's not it, though AOC and Bernie Sanders will tell you that is exactly part of the winning formula. Or is it that a young person appealed to young voters in an authentic way and was a consistent messenger about affordability, and the policy specifics are not part of the necessarily.
He was aggressive too. Okay, he was just aggressive. Being aggressive, understanding the political climate. knowing how to package your policies. The big issue is the current centrism in the Democratic Party does not allow for someone to be genuine and aggressive chasing something they want. Okay, so you can be an aggressive liberal. We saw that throughout American history. Like FDR, he was a liberal. Okay, he was a more authoritarian, aggressive liberal, but he really knew how to aggressively fight for what he believed in. So like, you can do that with any ideology, but this is showing you the roadmap for how Democrats need to campaign. That's why I said, no matter who you are, no matter if you're a Democrat, a socialist, a Democratic socialist, a far left, center left, whatever, even center right, you should be happy he won this, because now Democrats in the future are going to feel the need to actually get better and to improve their strategies. To realize they can't just get, $500 million and overpower everyone with Bill Clinton endorsements and Jim Clyburn endorsements. Like, we've been there already. That is gone. That is gone. We need a new Democratic Party.
Need to be part of the winning equation, that somebody, a more centrist Democrat, can also present an authentic way of reaching young and new voters with a consistent message on something like affordability and have success. That remains to be seen. But my goodness, look at the full spectrum inside the Democratic Party is on display today in terms of the reaction to it.
Let's just look at one of his YouTube ads on the issue of affordability.
All the leftists and socialists, now they get to say vote blue no matter who, bro. Vote blue no matter who. Now it's got to be turned around. And all the Democrats that said that to all the progressives and leftists and whatever, now they have to vote blue no matter who, bro. Vote blue no matter who. And Eric Adams in New York, Eric Adams is like voting for Donald Trump. If you vote for Eric Adams, I know he was technically a Democrat, but that is voting for a Republican if you vote for Eric Adams over Zohran.
It's working in middle-class New Yorkers who are being pushed out of this city because it's the most expensive one in the country. And so I'm going to ask you one more time. We're running to freeze the...
Jamie?
And his mom worked in film, right? So when he was a rapper. When he has all this this background with communications, theater, videography, like all these different things, performing on camera, those things matter in a campaign. And when you know how to use those things effectively, you could be really, really, really successful.
New York native?
I just want to say, this is not a new issue. Does anyone remember Jimmy McMillan, the campaign?
The
rent is too damn high.
He didn't win, though.
He did not win, but I'm just saying the economic issues are there. And there's also a real question, if he is elected, can he come through with some of these promises that he wants in a very expensive city? I would add two things to what David said. One is, I think you cannot ignore there was a big anti-Andrew Cuomo vote. People do not like him.
That's true, too. I mean, the Democratic establishment, they could have easily chosen someone who was not so unlikable. They could have even put their stuff behind. I mean, Brad Lander is too good of a person for them. But they could have found a better AstroTurf candidate other than Andrew Cuomo, of all people. But the thing is, the way they pick their candidates naturally selects for bad people. It naturally selects for sociopaths. It naturally selects for corrupt people. Because you look at Brad Lander and you look at Mamdani, like those things are like, well, these guys are actually good people. These are decent people, hopefully. I mean, we don't know everything about them yet. I know Lander has been doing really good work, so we could be confident about him. I don't know as much about Mamdani's history. In general, he seems pretty decent, but you have to understand, that's the big issue with the Democratic Party deciding who the candidate's going to be. It's just going to select for a really bad candidate for the current times.
We saw that on display. And then just the question of New York versus national. There are two very high-profile governor's races, your home state, New Jersey, Mickey Sherrill. In Virginia, Abigail Spanberger. These are centrists who look as if they could really win those states. Very different from New York.
Yes,
Can I jump off that? Because I think it's a really important point because of the two candidates specifically there, which I think are representative of Democrats right now are in this kind of very Democrat space of trying to figure out how to position themselves in relation to the likely Democratic nominee, because they're unsure about his policies, and they know that if you're in a certain district or you're in a certain state, you're going to get killed if you back him or support him or even acknowledge.
That's so cringe because supporting him would not hurt you in your district. Being a bad candidate hurts you in your district. I'm sick of hearing in the era of Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, reality TV star, screwed so many workers over, bragged about sexually assaulting women. He has every bad quality you can find in a human being. He knows nothing about American government at all. In a world where he could be successful, if Democratic politicians cannot support popular policies and do well, the issue is the candidate. All right, we got a lot of lawyers who want to talk like lawyers. All right, if you don't want to win popular support by adapting to 2025, go be a lawyer again. Go be a consultant. You don't have to be on you don't got to be QB1. You could be an assistant coach. I'm sick of hearing Democrats complain about, oh, these, Donald Trump's going to call us socialists. He's never done that before. He's never done that. Donald Trump's never called us socialists before. I'm sick of them fear-mongering about this political issue. There is no more, whatever this guy's talking about. We need to localize politics. We need to target messaging in very particular ways. These overarching narratives are not going to matter nearly as much going into the future. I'm sick of hearing it. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for your candidate being absolute dog poop, okay? I'm sick of it.
His existence on some level. What I think stood out more than anything.
Ceasefire, the ceasefire Trump did with Israel and Iran, where Trump said, please stop shooting missiles, please. And they kept on violating the ceasefire over and over and over again. I guarantee you in Trump's presidency, there will be more conflict between Iran and Israel. It's guaranteed. Israel's not going to listen to Trump. And Trump just put out a statement today giving the biggest, pathetic writing of Netanyahu of all time. Let me find it.
Anything else was how he campaigned, the authenticity of his campaign, which is Mikey Sherrill, which
also, bro, all these Republicans sharing, NYC is now a 36% foreign-born city. More than 1 in 3 people you meet there are going to be born in another country. Charlie Kirk was posting about how the Muslims are taking over America, and we need to cleanse America of non-whites. Like Charlie Kirk, Matt Walsh, Stephen Miller. The Trump regime is supporting KKK ideology. They are enacting it for legal immigration. But New York's always been a city of immigrants, as we freaking know. That's the entire history. That's the point of New York, and that's the point of the Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island. It's just so crazy, bro. But where's the picture of Donald Trump sucking off Netanyahu? 1 second.
Which is Abigail Spanberger. It's what the class of 2018, kind of the folks who got the majority for Democrats in the House in 2018 were very representative of that. We saw it a little bit, Pat Ryan, who's I think in his 3rd term now, in Congress, Ruben Gallego in the Senate as well. It's not necessarily the specific policies that have to be cookie cutter for every single race or every single district. It's the approach and the willingness to engage.
So those are all critical.
True. Donald Trump said this today, okay? After giving mild criticism to Israel because they broke his ceasefire 15 times. Breaking news. I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which has just had one of its greatest moments in history, and is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. Hey man, wartime prime minister, you could just keep a war going all the time, 24/7. You could be prime minister for life. Bibi and I went through hell together. He always talks about Putin and Bibi in the same way, about their brothers, they really relate to each other. We went through hell together, fighting a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran. And Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger. Bro, happy Pride Month. Better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. The same Holy Land Trump wanted to build casinos on. Interesting. Remember when God said, not God. Remember when Trump said, God bless Israel before he said, God bless America the other day? The other day, Trump said thank you to Netanyahu before he thanked our troops. That was cool. That was cool. Anyone else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi was a warrior, like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel. And the result was something that nobody thought was possible. A complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. This is completely fake, by the way. Completely fake. Their nuclear programs are not even anywhere near wiped out. At all. We were fighting, literally. Bro, did Netanyahu type this himself? We were fighting, literally, for the survival of Israel, and there is nobody in Israel's history that fought harder or more competently than Bibi Netanyahu. Despite all of this, I just learned that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of this long-running. He has been going through this horror show since May 2020, unheard of. This is the first time sitting in it. First time a sitting Israeli prime minister has ever been on trial. Politically motivated cases. How does he type so? I can't read all that, bro. How does he type so much every day? He's so sassy, bro. He's so sassy. He just posts on Twitter all day.
Critical points when you look at what this means nationally. On that, if you look at the other side of the aisle, what Republicans are saying, particularly in New York, they're loving this. Just not necessarily as the mayor of New York, but just on
all the available intelligence reports. I'm not an expert on the military. I do understand some of the logistics of their nuclear programs. There is zero way we completely knocked out their capacity for nuclear weapon potential. Even J.D. Vance admit we set them back a few months. Okay, a few months. Intel reports came out on that. Trump said, "Oh, the person that leaked it was stupid," but there is no physical way we knocked out their nuclear program forever. It was not completely obliterated. Okay, it's all just a big propaganda campaign. They still have uranium. They still have enrichment capabilities. They don't have warheads. They can possibly in the future. They're probably not that far. And if I were them, I mean, they're getting beat up now. They probably want to have nukes to defend themselves. We don't go after North Korea for a reason. But if you truly believe Iran's nuclear capacity has been completely wiped out, I have a bridge I can sell you. Right between wherever the old saying is, whatever. But yeah, you're stupid.
On their political good fortune, the way that they see it. Elise Stefanik, who is a member of the House Republican congressional delegation, potentially somebody who will run for governor in New York, said the following: Kathy Hochul, the worst governor in America. You just got a communist anti-Semite elected as the Democrat nominee for mayor in New York City. You have refused to disavow his dangerous rhetoric and policy.
Someone said, sassy, coming from a party that thinks women can be men. I'll tell you what, though. It's really impressive. Donald Trump doesn't even need to become a woman to sound like a... You know, it's actually crazy to sound like such a... He could just sound like one. He could just talk like one. He could just say, please stop bombing. Please, please. Israel, stop it. You're being a bad boy today. Like, Israel, stop, please, please, please. And I can't believe you're asking me such a mean question. How dare you ask me a mean question? What did Trump say today about Zohran? Wait, let me find what Trump said about... Wait, Trump, Zohran, Mamdani. Bro, now tell me this does not sound like a 12-year-old emo girl. It's finally happened. The Democrats have crossed the line. Donald Trump has called Democrats communists, socialists, Marxists, evil, fascist, enemies of America. So I don't know what line we're crossing. Zohran Mamdani, 100% communist lunatic. Trump has never called a Democrat a communist lunatic, by the way. Brand new. He has just won the Dem primary and is on his way to becoming mayor. We've had radical lefties before, but this is getting a little ridiculous. He looks... Like, come on, bro. He looks terrible. Bro, come on. That's weak. He looks terrible. He's not a bad-looking guy. Like, he's really not a bad-looking guy. If you think he looks terrible, then you got some, I mean, I don't know. He's not a bad-looking guy at all, in any way. All right, neither is his wife, a bad-looking guy. His voice is grating. He's not very smart. He's got AOC +3. Dummies all backing him. And even our great Palestinian senator. By the way, ADL and all you organizations that claim to care about Jewish people, why do you not care about Trump calling a Jewish person, Chuck Schumer, a Palestinian as a slur? Why do you never talk about that? Why do you never comment on that at all? Like, I really want to know why. I want to know why all these organizations that claim to care about anti-Semitism in the name of protecting Israel, you know, for the actual purpose of giving Israel whatever they want. Why do you never talk about Trump saying this? I mean, talk about inciting violence. You say a Jewish man's not actually Jewish. He's actually Palestinian. Kind of crazy.
And you will be held accountable by New Yorkers. And mark my words, Kathy Hochul, we are going to fire you in 2026 to save New York. Okay, so that's...
You think potentially running for governor?
He's tweeting this while laying on his stomach. He's laying on his stomach with his legs in the air. Yeah, his legs are dangling up in the air. He's really just thinking about, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Him being a sign of masculinity for anyone is so upsetting. The issue of fatherlessness in the Republican Party is really just showing every single angle.
Inside. But this is important. And this is, we just got this from.
Why are all Democrats ugly, goofy looking mother? Hey man, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, I want you to stand next to me in person and I'll let them judge which one of us is a weenie. All right? Because I'm no weenie. You're a weenie. All right? You're a big weenie. You're a big old weenie. Weenie Hut Jr. You know, from SpongeBob. Some of us are in the Salty Spittoon. You're in a Weenie Hut Jr. Plus Ultra. All right? You're a weenie.
Congresswoman Laura Gillen. Now, she is a
Jolah,
Democrat representing New York. She unseated a vulnerable Republican. Again, this is a fellow Democrat who just said the following. Socialist Zohran Mamdani is too extreme.
Oh, a fellow Democrat. Oh, no. I mean, Donald Trump was a fellow Democrat at some point. You think I care about that? Dana Bash, do you think I care about that at all? I mean, I know he doesn't want to, like, participate in the who's going to travel to Israel first competition, but you don't got to be that hard on. Like, what's going on?
To lead New York City. His entire campaign has been built on unachievable promises and higher taxes, which is the last thing New York needs. Beyond that, Mr. Mamdani has called to defund the police and has demonstrated a deeply disturbing pattern of unacceptable anti-Semitic comments.
Anti-Semitic comments. Anti-Semitic comments.
Which stoke hate at a time when anti-Semitism is skyrocketing. He is the absolute wrong choice for New York. Well,
you know, those statements right there, a majority of American Jews disagree with, by the way. The idea that saying something anti-Israel is anti-Jewish explicitly, like, or directly, is very disagreed on by most American Jews. Like, American Jews, I'm pretty sure they vote Democrat like 70%. So I'm just sick of them using Jewish people as a political football, bro. And I've seen them call, like, Jewish people in America who are, like, pro-humanitarian efforts for Gaza, calling them, like, not real Jewish people, like, not real Jews. We don't care about their opinions. I don't like seeing any supremacy at all. So, like, if you're gonna say, like, oh, that's not a real Jew because they disagree with you because they're, like, pro-Palestine or something and they're Jewish, kind of crazy.
There is reason for Democrats to be worried. Donald Trump gained significantly on Kamala Harris in November, including in New York City, which of course is this huge blue stalwart. So there is reason for people like her to be concerned about that trend. But at the same time, you have Mamdani, who really talked about some of these economic issues that Trump was so good at, really appealing to
AOC, yeah, I was going to say AOC got Trump crossover voters better than any other Democrat in the country, I'm pretty sure. Like, Trump voters like populist rhetoric.
Working class voters.
They don't
and
care
that
about
was something that Harris really struggled with. He's talking about rent freezes. He's talking about raising the minimum wage. Those are things that she didn't necessarily fully commit to. So I think that is a real opening for him. But at the same time, we still have to see how he performs in the general. You have Eric Adams still running as an independent. Cuomo's opening the door potentially to running as an independent. So I'm really watching that election.
One of the through lines of
Stefanik's
statement and the Democrat Laura Gillen was what Gillen says, unacceptable anti-Semitic comments. This is something that he struggled with during his campaign, and it is not going to go away. A whole series of things that he has said and tried to, get right on.
Like what? I would imagine Eric Adams is going to have that front and center in his campaign as he goes forward for this general election.
Yeah.
Let's discuss this.
Yes, please, Eric Adams. With Zohran Mamdani, all right, please make your entire campaign about Israel. All right, make your entire campaign on a message of I'm going to visit Israel once, twice, 3 times before you even think about visiting. All right, Eric Adams, please keep on talking about Israel and why Israel matters more than New York City and America. Please talk about Israel. Please show complete disregard for Jewish Americans and Jewish people anywhere, unless if they are supporting the state of Israel with 0 reservations on any humanitarian issues in Gaza or anything. Please, Eric Adams, please go that direction. It'll make your campaign so good, so powerful. New York City right now, New York sent a clear message that they care about Israel. All right, they want to make Israel great again. And so does Donald Trump. So does all the great Americans. So please, please, Eric Adams, I'm trying to give you some game right now. I'm trying to make sure you get, you have a successful campaign going. That is the formula. Don't focus on any issues people are dealing with. If they want to talk about foreign policy, you're mayor of New York City. That makes you basically our #1 commander and #1 foreign minister, and also, be leading the State Department as well as New York City mayor. So please make the entire campaign about that. It's definitely going to boost Israel's polling numbers as well, which I don't know if they care or not. That their attempts to interject in every conversation, like Zohran can talk about dealing with anti-Semitism, and then they bring up Israel and the state of Israel, and that's it at all, as if they don't care about anti-Semitism happening in America. Like, Jewish people do live in a lot of different places, and I feel like America is proof that you can have, a safe place for all cultures to live in, especially New York City. That's how New York City became so great to begin with. Immigration and diversity and being able to work together and being able to be a melting pot. So kind of crazy.
With former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Hi, Mayor. Thanks for being here. We were just talking in the break before.
I am opposed to gays not having rights in Iran. Yes, I agree. But see, Cloud, that is like one of the funny things, though, is that they talk about like they're against this radical Islam. But like, Trump supporters agree with them on social issues. They agree with them on abortion. They agree with them on like a woman's traditional role. They agree with them on, they're closer to their beliefs than progressives are. MAGA agrees more with Saudi Arabia's treatment of women than they do with progressives. So.
And you said, look, in New York City, expect the unexpected. That's what we're seeing here.
Pam, I am having good flashbacks. In 2013, literally 6 weeks before the election, I was in fourth place. And on election night, I won without a runoff. And Zohran Mamdani has done an amazing, even faster version of that exact same thing. He was 1% in the first poll this year. And as of last night, he was hovering around 43. So this is amazing. And to his great credit, I really want to say, because I think a lot of people don't know him yet, he's a very smart, incredibly hardworking guy who's got some vision. He's actually got some passion. He's got some vision, and that's what people are responding to. It's interesting. Cuomo attempted a kind of fear-based campaign.
Yes, I did time out Kyle. Kyle was getting me salty by saying "watch Pisco" every 2 seconds.
Kind of Trumpian, in my view.
I'm sorry.
Telling people there were all these dangers around them in New York City, and they needed a strong man.
You have a bad
Whereas
day.
Mamdani said, we have to do something very different in this city. We have to address
De Blasio. I mean, De Blasio ran a very similar policy lineup to what Zohran is talking about, and I mean, these rich people are not leaving New York City. They are just like, it's kind of funny too. I saw there's a meeting today with a bunch of real estate investors and stuff to deal with, to talk about how they're going to deal with Zohran, and I'm like, did they do that with Donald Trump, or do they only do that when their money interests are being challenged? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But it's a better world for all of us if we can fix these issues that Zohran talks about. And there's different policies to get there, and I'm sure there's room for compromise. But interesting times.